Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Chad here with another In the OT podcast for BetHubb Sports Blog.com. Today, I continue to rant and rave and lose my mind in absolute amazement of how delusional some people in our society towards everything that's happened at Penn State. And of course, I'm talking about the sanctions that came down in the last couple of days with the wins being taken away. And when you look at the reaction of some of these Penn State alumni, it's just mind-boggling the way these people think. And the reason why I'm so worked up today is because I found a news clip on my good friend LarryBrownSports.com website that has one fellow in particular comparing this news to 9/11, which is just wrong. And then somebody else in this video too, I believe it's his wife, wanted to talk about how she feels bad for the children and they actually won the games. So what I've decided to do here is take this video and embed it on our website so you guys can watch it in its entirety. And I'll also right now play a good 20 to 30 seconds of the clip that I'm speaking of so you have a chance to hear it. And then after that, I'll give you my comments on how ridiculous what they had to say was.
I can't put my arms around it. It was, to me, it was our 9/11 today. You know, I just saw planes crashing into towers.
Sally Price feels the same. She says what hurts most is the fact that the NCAA took away 14 years of football victories under Joe Paterno.
It had nothing to do with the Sandusky scandal. They played hard, they worked hard for those victories, and to take them away, we will always feel that he is the NCAA victory leader.
The Prices say this
Okay, so let's start with that woman by saying that the Sandusky had nothing to do with the 14 years of victory. She just doesn't get the point. It's not a matter of whether or not he impacted the results on the field. It's the fact that for those 14 years, Paterno decided to look the other way. He didn't do what he should have as a citizen in our society and step up and tell the authorities of what he knew about. And the main reason that I believe that was happening was because of the fact that he wanted to maintain his legacy. He wanted to become the all-time wins leader. He wanted to maintain his reputation and his brand, which was Joe Paterno and Penn State. So the best way to punish him was to negate those wins, because if he actually did what he was supposed to back then, there's a strong possibility that he wouldn't have been the coach for as long as he was, and those wins would have never been there in the first place. And since he was so selfish and so full of himself, and that's all he cared about, and was willing to risk the lives of young children for his own victories, yes, I am very glad that that happened. If this dumb woman can't see through that, then she really has a mental block in her mind right now. And I don't want to hear about the kids and they're feeling bad and this and that. Yeah, okay, you do have a little bit of sympathy for the kids, but at the end of the day, there are many crimes and atrocities that occur in this world that other people happen to be in that circle or somewhat involved or indirectly involved just based on name and association, where they have a bit of a tough situation to deal with after. Why is it that people don't feel sympathy for them, and it just happens to be for Penn State, where there's this outcry from these delusional alumni? And then the husband talking about how this is his 9/11. Well, first of all, what do you mean your 9/11? Are you trying to say that the actual 9/11 didn't impact you because you didn't know somebody that was involved with it, or that it wasn't as hard-hitting to you in your heart? Well, that just proves it right there, because he's basically admitting that he's biased and delusional towards Penn State because he went there, but since he doesn't live in New York and he doesn't know people there, that it didn't mean as much to him. And you can't compare the two. We're talking about a terrorist attack where people actually lost lives. Obviously, it's terrible what happened to the children, but nobody actually ended up dying at the end of the day. And we're talking about football here, not actual a worldwide atrocity that, was just terrible. And think about all the other negative effects that happened. Not only were there people's lives lost that day, but in the long run, for all the people that have suffered from the cancer, from all the smoke and stuff they inhaled, and then what it's had to do to the entire nation in terms of the security. I mean, it was way worse. I just can't stand the way people actually want to try to use 9/11 as an analogy, and they get all worked up for football and comparing it. Just disgusting. These people are a bunch of tools, and it just ceases to amaze me on a daily basis of how the brains of these people operate, and they're just so thick-skulled, and they just do not get it. Shut your mouths and just accept the fact that this happened, and there's more things in life than Penn State football, and that's the problem with these people in this town here. They don't know anything else, and that's all they live for, and that's why they're so upset by everything that's happened here. But if they had any common decency, they would care more about these kids and the wins that happened during those years. Chad here with another In the OT podcast for BetHubb Sports Blog.com.